Hey, did you see that the new GTR was unveiled at the Tokyo Auto Salon? It was the same freaking car. They got us excited over nothing.
I tried, Mr. Plankton. I really did.
Oh, what now?
Soiled it!
Oh no, but there's plenty of small improvements that can be kind of celebrated and cherished since the R35 and also the GTR brand is still around. That's really cool. The R36 is the GTA 6 of the car industry. All right, maybe you have a point there. The new 2024 Nissan GTR has been unveiled and people are conflicted, to say the least. I mean, you kind of know things are bad if a corporation as big as Nissan has to turn the comments off of the unveil video. The R35 platform is now old enough to get a United States driver's license, so it has stuck around, to say the least. But I want to ask, is this hatred of the 2024 and this backlash really that justified? So after a day or two, but after the hype settled, I wanted to break down the presentation, talk about the car, what I like, what I don't like, and that a while ago I made a video all about how the R35 might have overstayed its welcome, and I think a lot of people are starting to feel that way now. So let's break it down, let's talk about it. And also, what do you guys think about the new 2024 GTR before we get started? Put it down in the comment section below. Let's start with the unveil. Nissan CEO got up there and spoke in fluent Japanese, which was pretty impressive. I don't know why though, but when the Japanese text came on screen with like the dramatic music and like the fog and everything, I went straight to like an anime intro. And they go through kind of a flashback of all the R35s, and I'm sorry, having camo on front of the new R35 2024 is kind of hilarious. Like, the world is gonna see that and go, oh man, I wonder what that is. So they unveil the car, they get the polite applause, and they break down the racing success of the R35 and basically how it's won a ton of races over the past decade or so. It is undeniable that the R35 has been a good race car and a good track car. Undeniable. I do like that the next presenter gets close to the car. A lot of the times when you see presentations or unveil, they'll kind of like stand in the middle and not move. They'll just be like, yes, this car does this and this car does this. He like gets over to the car and goes, this is why we changed this. This is why this aerodynamics is different. And this is why we made this decision. I like that. I like that that was something involved into the presentation. That way people like you and me, when we first glance at it, we go, looks the same. And then they go, no, this is different, and this is different in an educational way, not like you're wrong. That's a smart way to go about it. But aerodynamics seem to be the biggest improvement of them all. The rear wing has been moved back a little bit for better downforce, subtle but effective. And the interior breakdown showed that the new Nismo seats visually look absolutely stunning, but I cannot imagine those being comfortable. Because even the recent R35 Nismo, it was a livable car. It just felt like a better R35. So, what is my opinion on the car, looking at it completely objectively? Not emotionally, objectively. And we'll get to the emotions later, I promise. The Nissan GTR is still here. That's positive. They didn't take this name and put it on a different car, like a four-door sedan from Japan. I wonder what that could be. And also an SUV or something along those lines. There's that one meme that was going around where it's like all the old JDM classics time traveling to now. Like the Mark IV Super is like, oh cool. The Skyline's like, oh cool, R35. And then it's like the Mitsubishi Eclipse going, what happened? The GTR is still a GTR, and that is a win. The Nismo has a ton of new aerodynamics and it has a ton of effective downforce and carbon fiber bits to add that very aggressive style with 600 horsepower. And I like the carbon fiber on the fenders as well. It kind of gives it a neat little look up front. But the quote-unquote base model GTR makes 565 horsepower and 467 pound-feet of torque. So it's still the Beast V6. It's a great engine. I mean, it's so hard to beat. Other than that though, it has a limited slip differential, has the same engine that's hand built in Japan, which is still really cool. This car feels like it ain't broke, don't fix it car so far. I see why, because that V6 has done them really well overall. I mean, it can run a 6-second quarter mile when done correctly. It's pretty ridiculous. Okay, let's move on to the things I don't really like. And this is a opinion. Like, just want to let you know that. First things first, the exterior is a bummer. I'm sorry, it's just a complete bummer, because I think when rumors were coming out that there was going to be a new GTR, that kind of set a false expectation in all of our brains. Maybe that's our fault, who knows, but point of the matter is, it's a letdown. The exterior is a letdown. It's unfortunate because they made tons of improvements, like aerodynamically, that were very subtle, and I'm sure they're incredibly effective. But on a surface level, public relations note, I don't think it's ugly or anything. That's not what I'm saying. The car looks fine to me overall. A lot of people are saying it's uglier and blah, blah, blah. It's fine. To me, it's just another R35 with some subtle differences, and that is what we got. And this is when I really hate criticizing cars that are updated, because the engineers, they do work hard, right? They work hard to make big differences. But when it comes to the public perspective of Nissan and everybody that I have talked to about the new GTR, people are let down. They're let down because it's really hard to justify someone who has a 2022 GTR to go buy this one when the differences are this much and you know it's gonna be way more expensive. Plus, if you might remember a year or so ago, there was another unveil in Japan where I think it was called the T-Spec, I believe, and I might be wrong, but it looked very similar to this with its color scheme and stuff like that. It was basically a color update. And that's what it's starting to feel like with the R35, where just subtle different additions. You know, like the 40th anniversary edition looks very similar to the Japanese T-Spec. It just kind of goes down this rabbit hole and a broken record for a lot of people. So I might sound like I'm complaining. So you might be asking, what would I do to the Nissan GTR when I'm not an engineer? I'm just a fan, right? I'm just a fan. I don't know what it would take, but as a fan, this is sort of where I would like. Performance-wise, I don't even really think I'd be that mad if it was similar to the last car. If you think about it, the V6 is great, the all-wheel drive is great, they added a new limited slip differential up front for the first time, which I'm actually shocked it never had one up front. I totally thought it did. So if you had this V6, you turned it up a little bit, you did some R&D on that, and along with that, you have the limited slip from this one. It's an exterior change. That is what we're all looking for. Performance-wise, I think most of us are pretty happy with the GTR. The thing hauls ass. Like, it's a fast car. And Nissan, I think, knows that performance-wise, the GTR has always been hard to top with drastic improvement. Look, I know we're not supposed to take renderings at face value, but there's this one rendering that I absolutely adore. And we learn not to believe renderings from the Integra, yes, but just for fun, I just wanted to show you guys this thing. It's by an artist named Roman Mia, and he did basically what a quote-unquote R36 could look like. And if you look at it, it's incredibly effective. Taking kind of the R35's dimensions and side profile, you'll notice the kind of gill on the side from the R35, but at the same time, influences from the 34, the 33, the 32. It still looks modern. It doesn't look like something that's completely implausible, because a lot of us want to go back to the ways of old where the cars were smaller and you could get away with wackier designs. This thing is just awesome. I absolutely love it. So Roman, if you're watching, big credit to you. Amazing work. Good job. When it comes to this car, do I think that Nissan screwed up, per se? When you do a deep cut, they just played it safe, right? That's what they did. They didn't really do anything that was spectacular when it came to the public looking at it. But yeah, they're under fire right now. If you go on any page that talks about the R35, or the new R35, excuse me, I almost said R36 and I said, no, it's not an R36. Everyone, for the most part, the general consensus is it's a bummer that it doesn't look different. Like, that's the main thing. Power plant's fine, power's fine. We're glad it's not an EV. That seems to be the big thing. And then the opposing argument is just be glad the GTR still exists. That seems to be the #1 argument for people who are defending this car. You know, hey, we're lucky. It's still around. It's internal combustion engine. It's not an EV. It's not a hybrid. It's nothing. It's still a pure blood GTR for the most part. Just be happy with it. Stop complaining. And for the first time ever, I don't think people are truly complaining. I think they're just saying what they feel for the most part, that they would love to see Nissan move on. They would love to see Nissan build something cool and build something different. More so in a way of cheering them on than ridiculing. That seems to be what I am interpreting, and maybe that's what my brain is saying. My brain is saying, I'm rooting for you, Nissan. I want to see you build something new. That's not saying that the R35 is not bad. It's always been a great car. So, long story short, that's my thoughts on the new 2024 GTR. What are your guys' thoughts down below? Make sure to hit that like button. It really helps me out in this algorithmic world. Along with that, some previous videos, just did some work on my Civic. I drove a 1100 horsepower rat rod that weighed 1,700 pounds. And also gave a ride to my father-in-law on my 750 horsepower Mustang. So if you missed those, go check those out on the channel. They were a ton of fun to make. And at that same time, I hope every single one of you has a lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Have a great day. Goodbye.